So, a friend and I were discussing today about how we really and truly make up our own problems and how insanely smart we are with doing so, right? And this is coming from both of us who actually just left our relationships that were unhappy, right? And it's really really interesting that we got reflecting on the things that we are doing now to ourselves that are crazy. And it was such a great discussion because through self-awareness we start to know our patterns, right? And it's really interesting and how both of us notice the same pattern within us. We literally live parallel lives, like, have you ever had a friend whose lives, or someone, a colleague that has like parallel lives as you? That's us. And so it's very interesting because now that we're moving on, right? And we're really prioritizing our own needs, just unapologetically putting ourselves first and ensuring that our own wants and needs and desires are fulfilled by us, right? Because we are the only ones who can fulfill them truly. Um, you know, talking about exciting things, but actually at the same time, the ways in which we consciously and sometimes unconsciously sabotage our own happiness, right? And this is not just us, of course, it's all humans do this at one point or the other, but gaining this self-awareness is really interesting, where we both talk about the fact that we are creating problems now. And these are like minute problems, not even big problems, just like small problems that we're trying to solve because of our history, right? Because we've had this big problem for a long time. In the past year, we have just gone through extremely life-changing things about, separating from our partner, divorcing from our partners, and a lot of things go on in terms of the things you have to deal with, right? There are a lot of stressors, and we are so used to dealing with those stressors that we were accustomed to the stress, right? Stress became a familiar state for us. Being in survival mode and fight or flight mode became such a normal, familiar thing for us that now that there's ease, now that there's less stress, now there's a lot more freedom and happiness, this new state of things that we wanted, by the way, things that we wanted now has become so unfamiliar that naturally we want to go towards the more familiar route of stress and problems, right? And now that the problems and stress are minimal, we tend to recreate it because stress and chaos was familiar. And how crazy is that? How crazy is it that we do that, right? And we came at it now from a place of like lightheartedness, and we were laughing about it, but at the same time it's a real problem, because creating problems just for the sake of creating problems really is not good for us. So it was a reminder for both of us to just allow ourselves to let go, right? Allow ourselves to find ease, allow ourselves to make it easy. And it's funny also because the great things that are happening in our lives now are coming fairly easy. We are able to really attract the things and the opportunities and the experiences, like they're literally just falling into our laps now because, well, we deserve it, first of all, because we've done the work. But at the same time, it's easy, but the fact that it's easy was so unfamiliar to us that we doubt it, right? We expect that something bad is going to happen. And it is through kind of being aware of it and knowing that pattern of, okay, everything is good now, but shit is going to happen, like, or expecting that shit is going to happen, right? And also, this is just also the brain's negativity bias, right? Our brain needs to catch up with reality. Our reality now is good, but our brains, because for a long time it's been such in a fight or flight, a distressed state, that this ease is very unfamiliar to it. So it tries to recreate the old homeostasis, which was chaos, to try to recreate it. But now that chaos no longer needs to be part of our lives, it becomes shocking to us. So then we create our own problems, and it's like that cycle, right? It's that really, really complex cycle. But both of us were like, shit, we are doing this, we know what to do with it, so we are good. But it is through pointing to each other, the things that we are doing, and also at the same time, because we pointed it out, because we were laughing with ourselves that we were doing weird things, that we also found reassurance in it. So this is the reason why I wanted to share this with you, is to take a look at yourself. And sometimes if you are someone who had just left a relationship, right, and you're finding some ease right now in your life, you're noticing that your stress levels have completely decreased, then think of why that is, right? Think of why that is. And can you also see the same pattern within you, where you were just so used to being in a stressful state that became familiar to you, and now peace and security is unfamiliar. So you are trying to recreate it and sabotage it just because the chaos is more unfamiliar to you. But it wasn't always familiar to you, right? Stress hasn't always been familiar to you. It happened due to the circumstances where you were at. So because it happened based on the circumstances you were at, you can also make peace and happiness your new familiar state, right? It may be unfamiliar right now, but you can make it familiar. And the best thing about this conversation with my colleague and I, is because we have all the tools to help us rewire this pattern. We're both trained in very highly advanced subconscious rewiring modalities that we can use for ourselves, but also with each other if we needed help. And so because I'm able to do this for myself and just have the self awareness as to what exactly I need to do, it becomes easy, right? I will know how to make it make happiness and freedom and ease something that is familiar to me. I know what to do to get there. It doesn't have to take a long time. But if you're someone who doesn't know how to do it, then this is exactly the service that I offer for my clients, right? And so if this is something that is resonating with you, and if this is something that you want to change right now, living in a stressful state, I know that can really wreak havoc in our health long term, right? So if we are able to embody and make familiar ease, make familiar peace, make familiar happiness, then we attract more of that in our lives, because we're literally telling our minds now that this is what we want and this is the pattern that we want to see moving forward. And our brains are smart enough, it's going to give us the proof and the things that we need in order for us to really embody the fact that peace and fulfillment and happiness gets to be something that is now familiar. Even though it was unfamiliar, it now gets to be a familiar thing. And because we can make that a familiar thing, we no longer feel that need to sabotage when that does happen, once that does click, once that new circuitry clicks in our minds. And this can happen even just in, a few subconscious rewiring calls, right? So, as I mentioned, this is a service that I give my clients, being able to really deeply rewire those old ingrained self-sabotage patterns and instead replace it with self-compassion, self-trust, self-belief, and confidence in yourself and your ability to be the resilient person, to figure things out, to just allow yourself to trust and surrender to the process, surrender to the ease, because we only live this one life, right? And tomorrow isn't promised. So why wait? Why wait when you can prioritize yourself first, when you can unapologetically put yourself first now without having to second guess your intuition telling you that this is what needs to be, that needs to happen for you, because you did ask for it, right? You did ask for happiness and ease. So stop sabotaging it, stop sabotaging it and make it familiar. And this could be easily done in as little as just 1 to 2 subconscious rewiring calls, right? And so there will be a link in the description below to book a call to see if it is right for you. But this type of service will work for you even if you've tried subconscious rewiring modalities in the past or energetic modalities. Even if you're currently doing it, right? If you want to level up and just juice it up like roids, right? Then this will definitely help for you. Even if you think that it didn't work before, because this type of subconscious rewiring modality that I use with my clients have actually it does not rely on visualizations or regressions or anything like that. It really it's very intuitive based on who the client is and how their own subconscious mind gets them into their own unique hypnotic state. And so by being able to really just be present with you and with my clients, you will receive the rewiring that you need to have in order for you to then become to then allow yourself to become familiar with and the state of happiness, the state of joy, the state of gratitude is going to be your new familiar state of being each time. And then when you can allow peace and ease to be your normal state, then how would that feel moving forward? How would your life change if you just surrendered to the process because you trusted in yourself, in your ability to take action on the things that you need to do? This is the work that we get to do. So link in the description below, and I can't wait to see you soon.